Hi BookTube, I'm here with another weekly reading update. Maybe a day late or so, but I mean, who actually keeps track? I don't keep track. Anyways, so I'm just here. I've coming a bit out of my reading slump, I think. I totally threw out my May TBR. Just totally ditched it. It wasn't working for me. Yeah, so I'm just gonna start. I have a pile here. I'm just gonna start with what's on top. I read this last night. This is The Wise Beasts of the Wizarding Wisdoms by Nagabe, and it is a school for these creatures, demi-humans. They're humans with animal attributes, and each one is each little story. There's how many stories are in here? 8. There's 8 different stories, all about different kinds of love. Yeah, and it was sweet. Nothing much to say about it other than I showed this to my brother. My brother was like, "That guy's a furry," and like he does admit here that he is, which is interesting. Okay. Then I bought this book. I had to. It's book 3 in the Machineries of Empire. I've already read the first 40 pages. I love the first 2 books in this series. So this is about a world, really weird world, science fiction, lots of stuff about math, really confusing at first, but it's really great trying to figure it out. And that's what I enjoy about these books, is it's very confusing until things start to click and you're like, okay, now things are good. We follow this guy. Sorry. My computer's making noises because I'm trying to transfer files. I'm just going to stop the process. Anyways, yeah, so we follow this Shuas Jidao through all 3 books. And he's this general who people believe went insane, and he was a traitor, but because he's so good at what he does, they keep reviving him. Yeah, basically, that's what it's about. Yeah. And this first one, I was reading it, and I was just like, wait, did I completely forget what happened at the end of the second book? And I'm like, I don't think I did. I was a little confused, but then, as I said, these books are confusing, but the reward is well worth it. Yeah, and I didn't forget what happened at the end of the second book. I was able to continue on after things started clicking there. And these books are also, like, can I just talk about the quality? Like, it's so nice. It's got, like, that kind of, like, almost like a rubbery feel to it. I like it. And then I did go to the library, and I went there for some other things, but this was sitting there, and I don't know whose channel I saw this on, but I remember adding it to my list of books to check out, and I'm so glad I did. I managed to read 80 pages at work yesterday. Don't tell my boss. No, she knows. I get there at 8 in the morning and everyone's still asleep, so it's just like, there's nothing else to do. I read. So this is A People's History of Clothing by Sofi Thanhauser, and it is really good. It is really interesting. It's divided into different sections based on different types of cloth. So we start with linen. I'm into cotton, and the next section is silk, synthetics, and wool. And it's mostly about the history of making those things, but more from like a people's history. It's a people's history. Like, it talks about the people who are affected by these things, like how it affected women's history is really fascinating in the linen section too. Yeah, I can't talk too much about this because you gotta read it. That's just the solution. You gotta read this. It's really good. And then, I gotta gather myself. I work in a care home, and one of our residents passed away. And he had a lot of books, and they said we can, after his family went through things, they said, you can donate the rest, or, you can take some stuff. And, one of my first memories of him was taking him out shopping, and he bought this book, and I was like, oh, it's an awesome book. I was planning on buying it, but when he passed away, I decided to take this book as a memory of him and because I love dinosaurs. And so it's a dinosaur day, so I just go to the day of the dinosaur that we're on. I believe today is today's the 21st of May, and we have the Anticeratops. The unusual neck frill was quite long and rectangular, with bony knobs topped by backward pointing spikes. It fed on swamp plants as it waded through water and mud. From the late Cretaceous, it is from the Ceratopsidae family. It's a herbivore. It was 5 meters in length, weighed 2 tons, and it was found in North America. So just like every day, I just go through and read about the dinosaurs. And the art is just fantastic. I just love that. Yeah, so that's Dinosaur Day. And then I have some comics, and this is going to be my reading for the rest of the month, aside from Warren and Revenant Gun. So I got My Brother's Husband Volume 2. I read Volume 1 2 months ago, and I enjoyed it. So this is about takes place in Japan, and we follow this single father and his daughter, and this man is his brother's husband, and he's Canadian, which is kind of cool. And he shows up at the door and says, like, hey, I'd like to know more about your brother. He's passed away. I'd like to know more about his culture and how he grew up and all this stuff. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, you can definitely tell the author, Gegoro Tagame, the author and illustrator, you can tell that what he does, not in the traditional sense of what he does. He draws a lot of porn, I believe. And there are some scenes in here, in the first one, where I was like, oh, okay, like, yeah, why do we need that scene? I guess it's just what he's used to coming through. They're not explicit scenes, but they were just like, yeah. But it's still enjoyable. Like, it's not explicit. There's no sex going on or anything. It's like a family thing, but just some of the way the pictures were drawn, I was like, okay. Then I got the first 2 volumes of The Boys. I love this TV show, so I thought I'd read the comics. I do have them in digital format, but I'm more likely to read something if it is in the... Sorry, I'm just looking at the back covers. Like, making sure there's nothing explicit on the front, but on the back covers there's some stuff. So The Boys is a super violent thing. The Boys... So we're in a world where there's superheroes, but they aren't like your typical Marvel DC good guys. You know, like, they'll save the world, but not unless it makes them look good. There's all sorts of shifty stuff going on, and we have a collection of kind of normal people who've been affected in some way by these superheroes negatively in some way, and they're trying to stop them. So yeah, that's the first 2 volumes of The Boys. And then I got Church and State by Dave Sims. So what I did when I went to the library for graphic novels is, I think they have like six rows, like 12 altogether, but like 6 shelves. How libraries work. I hope you know how libraries work. And I decided I'm just gonna go and just like whatever catches my eye, I'll just pull off. So this has no like description of what it's about, but there are a bunch by this author, and it just kind of, the art looks interesting. Hopefully there's nothing I can't show here. Yeah, so I just thought I'd give that a go. So I have no clue what it's about. Haven't looked it up. I'm just gonna go into it completely blind. Then I got Convergence, Flashpoint Book 1. DC book. Typical superhero stuff. Batman, Secrets of the Batcave. This looks like it's older stuff, and it's on color. So I'm not entirely sure. A collection of tales from the Golden Age to the present. So they all look Golden Age kind of style. Just like Batman. And this one I got Yoshihiro Tatsumi's Abandon the Old in Tokyo. This is like a classic. Sorry, I'm so used to manga that this it's like normal, but it goes this way. Abandon the Old in Tokyo. I think, is this read like a normal comic or is this like a manga? Okay, it's read like a Western style. And I just know that this was a classic when I was looking up mangas and stuff like that. Don't ask me exactly what it's about, but as I said, I just went through randomly to pick them out, and that's what I got. That is my currently reading. I also went to the zoo recently here in New Brunswick called the Magnetic Hill Zoo. It's the number 4 zoo in all of Canada, which is actually like quite an accomplishment considering that we have like the Calgary Zoo and the Toronto Zoo, which are like huge fancy zoos. Yeah, and so I'm gonna include some clips of my trip there. That's it. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you're currently reading, and have a great rest of the week. Hopefully it's nice weather where you are. It's currently raining today here, but I like the rain.